mute.
There, we're live. All right, success. And I think we have sound. Yay! All right, so welcome everybody. I am just going to do, just for my own sake, I'm just going to check sound over here, make sure that we do in fact have sound, because Kevin is saying no sound, and that's freaking me out. So let me just see.
There's sound. I just checked it.
Okay. Oh, he hears them.
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. Celebration and welcome everybody to the First Look Book Reviews show, where today we're not doing a book review. But I'm still calling it the First Look Book Reviews. We have the fabulous Dale Roberts back again, this time so you can hear him.
Yes, you can't shut me up, Julie Broad.
So for those of you who are going, what is she talking about? Well, first of all, I've been on an epic streak of technical problems with our lives, and to make it, just like that cherry on top for all those problems, the last live that we did with Dale, he was silent. It was not showing, it didn't have any sound coming out of his mouth, so you guys got to guess what he was saying, which some of you were really good at guessing. So yeah, it was fun. I'm seeing a little flicker. I don't know if you're seeing that flicker. Is that just me? And a lot of you are probably watching on the phone, and you can hear. Richard just said you can hear. Keith says hello. Kevin says hello. So yeah, we're off to a great start, and thank you for joining us. And just a shout out to some folks that have been commenting and participating on my YouTube channel. I just want to say thank you to Mr. Mike DeClown. Mike DeClown, I like that name. Melanie Busby, Joseph Wozniak, MJD, and Gail Becker. Thank you so much for your comments, and hopefully you're tuning in today because you guys are all entered to win in the draw. So every Friday when a book launcher's video comes out, if you comment on the day the video is released, you will be entered to win prizes. And we are finishing off the last of the book launchers mugs today, and then after this there's going to be some new swag, so you'll have to tune in 2 weeks to find out what the new swag is. And a huge shout out to Adam Ward today. He's one of our fabulous book launchers clients. His book launched yesterday, Lean Design in Healthcare, and he's already #1 in new releases for several categories, like the what were they, the healthcare, and yeah, he's number one new release in healthcare and in the service industry categories. So congratulations. And his book is a high price book. He's selling it for $39.95, and he's already selling copies. So way to go, Adam. Congratulations. And I can't wait to we're really just getting into the marketing of his book now. So this is going to be fun. And that's where we're going to kick it off with Dale. So I am not going to say too much more about Dale. I'm going to let him introduce himself a little bit. And I'm kind of curious too, how did you get started on Amazon?
It's so crazy to think that over 4 years ago, I left my 9-to-5 job to become a full-time writer and self-publisher. Prior to that, about a year, I'd spent writing my first book, which was just horrible. Anybody who has that, it's not a collector's copy. It's a good collector's copy to keep in your dumpster. It is the epitome of horrible first books. But I had literally, I got into this business with the fact that I always wanted to write my own book. I think everybody probably has had that, where like, I would love to write my own book. And when it was presented to me as a challenge by my wellness coach at my employers, I said, well, yeah, of course I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I proceeded to just write a lot. Had no direction. I just kept writing until I put out my very first book, The 3 Keys to Health and Happiness, Unlock Your Greater Life. It made a whopping $21.53, something like that, my first month, and just paperback alone, no marketing. Thanks, Mom, by the way.
Oh, at least your mom bought copies. I mean, a lot of parents, not naming any names, got the free copies.
Oh, no. Yep. My mother, actually, after that, it was funny because, I mean, you fast forward, a few years later, and I'm over 40 different books and such. I think she gave up after the first few, where she's just like, okay, now you're just showing off. But yeah, that's pretty much how I got into this business. And, it wasn't all champagne and caviar dreams for the Roberts household. I mean, we peeled through quite a bit of our nest egg, cashed in my 401k, and it got really on hard times because I tried to go it alone, but through a lot of trial and error and hiring a good coach, I was able to get it to where I finally got some momentum. And I'd say it was over the past couple of years that we really started to see some great traction. And that was about the time that I started my YouTube channel devoted to self-publishing books, because then people started seeing my success and were wanting to know, well, how do you do this? And then rather than answering 50 different people with the same exact answer, I said, why don't I just put videos out? And
Yeah.
hence where Self-Publishing with Dale was born on YouTube.
Awesome, and a fantastic channel. So if you haven't already checked it out, I know a lot of the folks that have joined us today are kind of mutual viewers, but anybody who hasn't checked out Dale's channel, definitely check it out. Fantastic content, and he goes live on a regular basis with breaking news and all kinds of exciting topics that they cover. They cover a lot of the similar topics, but a lot of different stuff too. So it's kind of cool because I learn new stuff checking you guys out too. So I'm just checking this. Oh, he just said a minor flicker, but it's not too bad. So we're just, shaking. It's just because we're shaking things up today. That's all.
Oh yeah, we're lighting things up.
Now, I need, when I say you've been on Amazon, I'm saying you and your wife, Kelly, both do all of this Amazon stuff. So it's kind of like you guys are all Amazon all the time. So like my husband and I used to run a real estate business, and we were all real estate all the time. We had an investment business and a training and education business. It was like we couldn't escape real estate. I bet you that's what it's like in your household too now, but with Amazon.
Somewhat. I would say that about 75% of our income is derived from Amazon. Amazon treats the Roberts household pretty well, but YouTube's really starting to pick up momentum. Twitch is starting to pick up momentum. The two of us are now video content creators. And I mean, Kelly just started hers over the past 90 days and is already eligible for YouTube Partner Program. So now we're starting to get income from the Alphabet family, which is, of course, in direct competition with the Amazon. So it's kind of fun to get paid from both of these parties.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's definitely something we'll talk about, probably not today, but in the future, because I've watched her, and she's got, I think over 1,200 subscribers already, and she really did just start the channel. So you guys will have some great tips to help authors who are just starting a channel kind of have a sense of what they should do to get traction so they can get followers and viewers and engagement. Because that's the other thing too, is it's not just bots. Like she's got engaged followers on her channel already, and it's brand new. So that's really, really cool. And I'm sure it's a lot of the lessons that you guys have learned as you've built your channel, you're now able to apply them. So you guys will be able to teach others about it too. So we'll ask you about that another time. We'll have you back for that.
Yes, yes.
So today I wanted to dive really deep into a little bit deeper than what we got to do when you mouthed out all the answers 2 weeks ago. So if you missed that, definitely go check it out, because we did actually get 5 really good keyword tips from you. But I want to back it up now that we actually have your voice here and just talk about like, why are keywords important, and is there a time when you didn't have keyword, like you didn't know what keywords to use, and now that you do, the difference that you see, or just basically give us a little keyword background, like why should people care?
People should definitely care about their keywords, and it's how you communicate best to be discovered by your ideal audience. Before you do your keyword research, it's important, first of all, don't put your cart in front of the horse. You have to identify your audience. So what is your audience saying, and what is their problem, and how do you provide a solution? Now, some of you fiction writers out there are probably going to conniptions. I don't solve problems. I just write fiction. Yes, you do. You solve problems as well, because I know, as a person who is a voracious reader of horror books and such, I have a problem. I want to have a moment in time that I can suspend my disbelief and just disconnect from the world. So fiction and nonfiction are the same. Identify your ideal audience. And then from there, figure out, what is your audience saying? What is their problem, and how can you provide that solution? That's where keywords comes into play. Now, there's many different metrics to determine whether a keyword is going to be appropriate or relevant to the content you're providing, and whether you should or should not use it. So for instance, let's say I'm putting out my home workout plan. Let's say I'm just going to go ahead and shoot for a home workout plan. It's going to be for men between the ages of 24 and 45. I don't want to put out a keyword or attach a keyword to my book that's a home workout plan for 55 and over. That keyword makes 0 sense. So it has very little relevancy. And if somebody were to discover that book through that keyword, what's the chances of them actually buying that book? And no less if it was female over the age of 55 and they're looking at a book that's, for men between the ages of 24 and 45, that makes sense. So keywords are just huge. And what I made the mistake of when I first got into this was, I'm going to make my book about for everyone. Yeah, fitness is for everyone. But the thing is, that's going to be a really long book and no one's going to want to read it. You got to be very, very specific. And the next thing is, here's the other thing I believe. When I heard keyword, and you're going to laugh at this, Julie, and it's totally okay. And anybody that's watching this, please comment right now. I want you to put a laughy face right now here in Facebook. And if you're watching this on YouTube later on, give me a thumbs up on this. I used to think keyword was one word. Literally, I thought keyword was one word. And I'm like, so my 7 keyword slots in the KDP dashboard was like, push up. I was afraid to, put anything more than that because I always thought keyword was one. But believe it or not, keyword is actually a collection of 2 or more words that define the product that your customer is looking for. So hopefully if you can kind of wrap your head around that and understand that, that's where keywords become so vital to the discoverability of your book. Now, you noticed I didn't say vital in the success of your book. You can bring your audience there, but let's put it out there. If your cover's bowling shoe ugly, that's so bad that your mom just won't even put it up on her fridge for display to brag about, no one's going to buy it. And if your book description is just garbage, let's just say if you go on in there, it's riddled with spelling errors, no one's going to buy it. If the price point is way too low, and I see this bargain basement pricing all the time, that doesn't sell books, folks. Yes, there are exceptions to the rule, but and then you got the other ones that price themselves way out of their niche. So in other words, I'm not going to put out a short story and price it at, say, $99.99. It's just not going to sell. So that's some of the other metrics. And that's why I want to kind of make sure I clarify that keywords are not critical to the success, but it's critical into the discoverability of your book.
Great points. Love it. And just so you guys know, we are going to be doing prizes for the folks who are here. So if you haven't said hello and let us know that you're watching, then you need to put some thumbs up, some happy faces, say hello, give us a shout out, because we do a draw right before the live stream is going to end. And we're going to give, like I said, these are going to be vintage mugs, folks, collectibles, because this is the last of the book launchers, hashtag no boring books mugs. And we're giving the last ones away on today's live stream. So make sure you're saying hello and letting us know that you're here and watching. And I just have to turn the volume down. I'm like, I hear this little voice over here and it's me coming through the other computer. I'm like going crazy. And so we're talking to Dale Roberts if you're just tuning in, because I see a few folks just saying hello. So hi, Carrie. Hi, JB. And of course, Kevin is in the house as always. Thank you, Kevin. So do say hello, because Jacqueline is watching and Jacqueline's writing your names down and she's going to do a draw. So make sure you're saying hello to us. And we have 2 draws from the Friday commenters as well that we'll be doing. So just so you guys know that's going on. All right. So fantastic. That's a really, really good overview. So keywords are important for discoverability. Completely agree. And keywords means keywords, not just one word. All right. So we know keywords are important. Now, where do you use them?
Where do you use them? Oh man, it's more about where don't you use them. Now, this is where it's going to kind of maybe branch out a little further. So I'm going to try to reel this in. So otherwise, we're going to be here until midnight. I'm just going to kind of identify nonfiction. Okay, fiction guys, sorry, I'm going to have to put you on the shelf for now because that just requires an entire different conversation. I'm going to talk nonfiction. It's a little bit easier that you can use keywords within your metadata. Metadata represents everything that is involved in your book, from the title to the author name to the book description, and there's also the keywords that are in the background. what I always just try to call the metadata keywords, the 7 keyword slots on KDP dashboard, the 5 keyword slots that are over on CreateSpace, et cetera, based on whatever the platform is you're publishing to. Now, first thing I'm going to say is this. I said author. I'm going to recommend this. Don't make your author name a keyword, okay? Just don't do it. That was a methodology that worked at one point or another, but now distributors are getting wise to that. They're kind of like, your name's really not Arch Sketchbook, okay? You know, people are, you know, they're getting wise to this.
Dale Six-Pack Abs.
Right, exactly. So, you know, you got to be wise about this. So let's take that off the table right now. Use your author name appropriately. Use it wisely. But you can use it within, say, title, subtitle, as well as the description.
Yep.
If I were to ever recommend to anybody that's starting out into this business is don't go too crazy on your title and subtitle. I see these keyword stuff, titles, subtitles, and series names that take up 4 lines within the product description over on Amazon. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to buy a book that I have to read. What am I going to do when I share it? Yes, this book is called The How to Push Up When You're Not Feeling Like It at Home with Your Mom for Seniors Over 55. That's not a title, okay? Use it responsibly. And here's why I say use it responsibly. This is where finding a good balance with a book description that is great ad copy and utilizing keywords for discoverability within that book description. Then the next thing is utilizing those 7 keyword slots. Now, I always try to double down anytime I want to get discovered on a particular keyword. I want to make sure that's in the background in those 7 keyword slots or 5 keyword slots. And I also want to make sure that they appear again within my ad copy. Once again, if I say ad copy, I mean book description. And that way, it sends signals over to the Amazon algorithm, the A9 as it's called. It's such a sexy term, A9. But for nerds, that is. Any event, what it does is it sends signals and tells that A9, this is what my book is about. To further increase the relevancy of those particular keywords, do you know how to do that, Julie? You ready for this?
I'm ready. I'm excited.
Okay. So to increase relevancy, you got to get people visiting your page. But that's not enough. Because if someone's visiting your page and they're like, deuces, not my thing, they're peacing out, you're not getting any sales. So how do you increase relevancy from there? People buy your book. And in some instances, if you're using KDP Select or the Kindle Unlimited Page Flip program, that also helps out as far as building relevancy. And it starts to increase that rank. And of course, Amazon loves sales. They love sales. So anything that's selling, they're going to push that. This works so much so that if you can start to detect a pattern on Amazon, you can start to detect that pattern on Google. You can detect that pattern over on YouTube. Anything that involves a search engine and an algorithm of some sort, it's all about relevancy. Now, let's not be confused though. Google is much more sophisticated than Amazon's search engine, but Amazon's coming along. You know, let's not count them out of the game. They're going to definitely catch up at some point or another. But that's the name of the game, is relevancy. So we went really crazy on that right there. All to answer keywords. Where are we putting them? How are we utilizing them? And then, of course, how is it that we can start to gain traction for the keywords? It's relevancy.
Yeah, awesome. And I think Jacqueline was going to recap a few of these key points, so she'll probably help summarize what you just said, because there's so much gold in there. And in the meantime, let's give a few folks a shout out. So Pierre Paul, hey, good to see you. I haven't seen you around in a while. And Kelly's in the house. You guys say hi to Kelly, the other half of the Roberts duo. Richard says hello from Richard in Florida. Robert Workman, he said, can't seem to see my comments before sending, so I guess that means he's flying blind. But hey, your comment came through, Robert. So welcome. And he wants to have one of these future collectible, in the future to be collectible, no boring books, hashtag no boring books, book launchers mugs. And hello, Walter, as well. Oh, and it looks like Dale Six-Pack Abs is going to be your new author name. It's taken off.
Well, legally changing it now for that. So that way Then you know, when Amazon's like, no, that's a keyword, I'd be like, no, it isn't.
It's my
last
name. That's why I'm going to go buy the book broad.
Nice. Well played. Well played.
All right. So now the big question, and again, if you missed our live stream 2 weeks ago, we did talk about 5 tips, which there was some really good stuff in there. But how do you choose these keywords?
This is where it gets real difficult, and without me kind of screen sharing, I'm going to try to walk you through the best I can. Was something we had discussed at the last one, pantomimed interview. You're going to want to find the keywords just based on your research on whatever platform you're going to be on. And we're just going to default over to Amazon because that's my wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm.
We're just going to go ahead and focus on that. How you're going to find your keyword is look within the niche that you're published in. Find out common words that are used or the more successful titles in the bestseller list for your category. That's going to be one super simple way. Anybody can do that. Just go to the bestsellers of your niche. Now, the next thing is, this is so important. I learned this one from my boy, the Kindlepreneur, Dave Chesson. Dave's so awesome. If you want to get good, untainted keywords, I know it sounds dirty here, folks. I promise you, we're staying family friendly and PG here. But you want to have untainted keywords, you have to go into incognito mode in your browser. Now, if you're using Chrome browser, you just open up your normal browser. All you got to do is press Control-Shift-N, and it'll open it up in incognito mode. If you're using another browser, you're going to have to find out how to use incognito mode. I don't know what it's for Safari or...
just open private window for Firefox. I assume Safari is the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, you want to make sure that's private, because here's the issue. If you do your keyword research naked, in other words, you're going into the browser that you normally, fully clothed, but naked on. Wow. I said we're going to keep PG, folks. It didn't mean that way. I saw you start laughing. So you're going to go usually do your shopping. You don't go into incognito mode. You got to sign in. You've probably made purchases, and you've probably done research, and you probably researched for your book. So you've probably got all of this information. Here's the thing is, A9 is trained to try to provide you with the best results based on your product history, your product search history, anything that you've looked up, anything that you've bought, everything involved that you're going on there. It's funny, they're paying attention to you, and they're going to try to send you keywords based on what they're like. Oh, don't you mean this? So you're going to want to get as untainted of a history as possible by going into incognito mode. And here we go. Super simple. All you have to do is figure out generally, you know how I was telling you, go over, look at the bestsellers in your niche, you're going to find repeated words. So let's say we're looking at home workout plan. I'm going to start to type in workout, but I don't press enter. I just allow that auto suggest just to populate. Have it pop up there and show me all the different iterations that are commonly looked for, unsoiled, untainted from my history. That way I can get a good idea. Now, as soon as those pop up, this is where the legwork begins. And I'm going to tell you my little cheat method here after we're all done with this, we get to it. What I typically do is I'll find that keyword, and I don't know, I usually start at the top and work my way down through the auto-suggested list there inside the search bar. I'll click on that, and I'll see how many results come up based in either the A, Kindle store, if I'm researching keywords for my Kindle ebook, or B, in the bookstore. Those can sometimes be different. The keywords can carry different value based on the type of product that you have.
And country, by the way, I'll just chime in. You know, Canada has different than US, different than the UK, different than Australia. Very important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And here, that's great. I'm so glad you brought that up. We're gonna have to do this more often. A prime example was, I was talking to a friend of mine, Brandon Nankaville of 1% Better on YouTube. Did I just drop a name? Let me pick that up. Brandon, he and I were having a conversation, and he was just like, hey, can you give me any bodybuilding workouts? I was like, well, I guess. I mean, I haven't done bodybuilding since I was in wrestling. And I was like, let me get back to you. He's like, well, what about this one workout book that you have? I'm like, well, it's not really a bodybuilding workout. It's more for, you know, dropping a few pounds and toning up. He's like, oh yeah, that's what I want. Well, here I got mistaken. They call it bodybuilding over in Australia, and it's workouts here in the United States. And I'm just like going, oh, light bulb moment. All of a sudden, keyword I start to understand this better. The value changes by region. So this is such a huge one. I'm so glad that you mentioned this. But I will go in and I'll typically find a particular keyword with whatever region it might be and whatever store it is. And I will see how many products come up in there. Products meaning the type of books, ebooks, paperback, so on and so forth. And I want to see that there is not too much competition. When I say not too much competition, if there's about 1,000 products or less, I know I found myself a good keyword that I can go in there, and it's like taking candy from a baby. Not that I do that. I used to, but I'm reformed. You know, just kidding. And then, you know, keeping in mind that if there is ever any kind of search volume that's above 1,000, it'll happen. You know, if you just type in workout, you're going to probably have tens of thousands of products that are going to probably pull up in that particular keyword. You're going to want to make sure that you go what's called long tail keyword. You're going to find such keywords like home workout plan for men over 55. That's long tail. That means it's numerous words. I try to pay attention to the auto-suggested one, but every now and then, what I'll do is I'll splice a couple of those keywords together and see what it comes up with. But that's another conversation for another day. Now, you guys want to do the easy way out? If you got the discretionary expense, I'm just going to say that I love tools like KDP Rocket. Dave Cheson's not paying me to say this, although he does through affiliate links, but I'm saying this completely just out of the fact that I like it. It saves me tons of time. I don't need to go in and spend half hour, 2 hours trying to find ideal keywords for my books. I just literally just go in there, send it in, it pulls it up, and then I can see all of those particular things I was looking for in a keyword, everything from the competition to the actual value it has.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we do this for all of our book launchers clients too. And we use a few different tools. KDP Rocket, we've got KDP, I think it's called KDP Spy is another one. And we're using it. And it's also categories too, you know, figuring out which categories. I mean, that's a whole, we're not going to go there today, but there's a whole strategy. Oh, right, it is. And as we just noted, you know, it's different. And so it is overwhelming. I think, you know, pick a couple keywords, start there. You can go in and you can make changes to these things inside of your book accounts in the future. And actually that was one of Dale's tips from last time, was to update these bad boys on a regular basis if things are changing in your industry. Because, you know, his example was the paleo diet is now, you know, everybody's all about the keto diet now. And so you want to keep things up to date and fresh so that you're showing up for the keywords people are actually searching for today. So if things change, if the lingo changes, you want to be updating those keywords. But yeah, so I mean, if you're watching this, we have a handful of book launchers clients watching it. Don't worry, we got you covered. And if you're not a book launchers client, then getting some of these tools does make a big difference, but it's also in knowing how to use them. So Dale's covered a ton of great stuff today. We've got, if you guys have questions for Dale, you can go ahead and post them. And I've got a couple, we'll do one of the prizes. So I drew for the Friday. So the people who comment on Fridays when one of the book launchers videos comes out, thank you. Every Friday, new video, and your comments on that day, you get entered to win prizes. So the first winner was Melanie Busby. So congratulations, yay! So Melanie, what you need to do is send an email to team, that's TEAM at booklaunchers.com with your mailing address. And when I get back to California, which will be next week, I'm still in Canada, and I would show you the lake, except for it's smoky here and there's painters. So I'm actually staring out at, well, guys painting and the lake, but it's not quite the view. Now you guys are going to be like, I got to see this. So I'll maybe at the end of and I'm afraid I'll mess the cords up and I don't want to mess with a good technical system, but right at the end, I'll show you guys the lake and the painters and what's going on. But yeah, we have major forest fires here, and we've been pretty much locked. I've kept my son, who's 1.5 years old, I've basically kept him locked inside, and he's up against the glass going, outside. And I'm like, no, you're a prisoner. I'm sorry. Anyways, So congratulations, Melanie, and thank you. And we'll draw for 2 more prizes in a second. So I just want to check if anybody has. Hey, Walter, welcome. It's sounding good, looking good. So I think we're doing well. Okay, so there's no questions. So you've covered either you've blown them away, boggled their minds, or answered all their questions. So we'll go with selection C. Now, if there's one thing you think people need to know about keywords, what do you think it is?
Boy, we covered a lot of great ground, but let me just go ahead and just double back and just express this, that keywords don't sell your book. Keywords will get your book discovered, but it won't sell it. So don't think that there's some magical keyword that nobody's tapped into that's going to open up a faucet of money and pour it down into your house. It literally isn't like that. Yeah, it can make a difference in discoverability. Ultimately, if I were to say anything that people need to get dialed in, is your book covers, your titles, and for Pete's sake, can I get an amen from you, Julie? Hire an editor.
Oh my gosh. Maybe 2.
It never hurts, get your book edited, because no keywords is going to change the fact that if somebody purchases your book and it's not well edited, it's poorly edited, maybe it was just thrown out onto the market, what do you think the likelihood is that they're going to come back to buy more from you? And that's the thing, is you want repeat buyers. You want to make sure that you can come back and have people buy more from you, or refer your book to other people. That's going to be the huge thing. Is it's not all about volume here, folks. You can just publish one book and you can go out there and really, promote the mess out of it for the next, umpteenth amount of years. In fact, if I had to do it over again, I probably would have done one book instead of 41. So it just really, it comes down to that. And so if I were to recommend, just remember, keywords aren't going to sell your book for you. It's just going to make it more discoverable.
Exactly. So it's so important, because if they discover your book and it looks like crap, they're just going to move on to the next page. And if they discover your book and somehow get convinced to buy it and it's not any good, you're probably going to get a 1 or a 2-star review, which is going to do so much damage. So yeah, it's a whole package, and keywords is just one of the pieces of the puzzle. There's lots and lots of important pieces. So yeah, thank you so much. So many great tips today. And yeah, I'm going to check to see if there's any questions. And in the meantime, we have 2 more prizes today. Yes. There is, let's see, who else is on our list here? Oh, so also a Friday draw winner is thank you to Mr. Mike the Clown, which I loved your name, so I was so pumped you won. So thank you, Mr. Mike the Clown, for commenting on Friday's videos. And same with what I told Melanie. Send us an email at team@booklaunchers.com with your mailing address, so we can get one of these final collector, soon to be collector, they're not collector yet, No Boring Books Book Launchers mugs, which I don't have any here with me because I didn't want to waste a single mug. So I didn't bring it to Canada with me, but Dale has 2. They're not with him either. I'm surprised he's not drinking from it, actually. Like on Instagram, he's always got the mugs out.
It's getting late. I can't be getting revved up on caffeine.
That's true. You're 3 hours ahead of me. So see, I'm still in the caffeine zone. And oh, by the way, guys, November 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, we have our next nonfiction writers retreat. I've just posted a video onto booklaunchers.tv, so you can check that out. The last retreat was fantastic. I was so excited. Everybody wrote a lot. Like, the lowest number, I think, was 6,000 words. The highest was over 11,000 words. That's a third of a book, right? 11,000 words is a third of a book. So we accomplished a ton, had a lot of fun, and everybody in that group is still in touch. So they built a support network for their book writing, and that's really important too. So check that out, booklaunchers.tv. There is a video, or you can go booklaunchers.com/NOV, N-O-V retreat. And all that information, of course, is also on our website. We have one more winner, but let's just see. Oh, Walter's doing some dancing over there, and Jacqueline has been diligently including all your tips and recapping. So thank you, Jacqueline. And Keith said, great tips, Dale. So there you go, from another Amazon master. All right, so our final winner, and this is from the folks that are live here on the I wanted to call it a webinar. Oh my goodness, this is a live stream. This is not a webinar. So for everybody that was here, we've done the draw, and congratulations, Pierre-Paul. So I should have brought a mug to Canada because I could have easily shipped it to you because Pierre-Paul is a fellow Canadian. So congratulations, Pierre-Paul. So you know what to do. Actually, I think I probably have your mailing address, but shoot us an email at team@booklaunchers.com and we'll get you a mug once I'm back in California next week. And thank you so much, Dale. It was fantastic to have you and to hear you. I mean, I could hear you last time, but I think everyone else would agree. It's so much more fun when they can hear what you have to say.
Yes, it was a blast, and it's always a pleasure getting to connect with you. Awesome. I can't say enough great things about you. And anybody that is following her, please do her a favor. If you haven't already subscribed to her on YouTube, do yourself that favor, because I was following her long before I started making any kind of traction over on YouTube. You should do the same.
Oh, thank you. Now, where can people find you and Kelly? Because you know what, Kelly's rocking it too. She deserves a huge shout out. She's part of the team, so to speak. So let's hear where everybody can find you and find Kelly's stuff.
I make it super simple for everybody. There is literally a hub. You can find me at selfpublishingwithdale.com. So super simple. You can find everything from the blog posts, the videos, to the podcasts and everything else in between. You can find also both of us on our respective channels, Self-Publishing with Dale on YouTube and Kelly Publish on YouTube. It's important to mention that Kelly's name is Kelli.
Yes.
Not Y or IE or anything cute like that. It's just Kelli Publish. And you find some great content over there. She talks a little bit more about print books and merchandising.
Yeah, awesome. And since you guys are still here, you stuck around. Oh, hey, Marnie, thank you. I'm going to give you guys a view of the lake. There's like 7 or 8 Canadian geese floating by, and of course the painters as promised. So now that we're done, I can risk messing the cords up, and I'll show you guys the lake here. There we go. Tell me when you can see it okay, Dale.
Have the painters wave at you.
Oh, yeah. The door is closed today, but yeah, you see them on the lawn. Can you see the geese?
Oh, I don't think I can see the geese.
I'll try and move you closer. There we go. Can you see them now in the lake?
Off in the distance there.
Yeah, they're in the lake, yeah. Yeah, there's your Canadian geese. Yeah, I had to keep the door closed today, though, to keep the smoke outside. From the forest fires. But yeah, there you guys go. So thank you everybody for being here. And most importantly, thank you, Dale, for being here. And thank you for the fantastic tips. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks, same time and same place with sound. And it'll just be me, but we'll be doing book reviews. I got some to catch up on because I haven't done book reviews for the last couple of weeks. So thank you, everybody. Have a fantastic night. And thanks again, Dale. Bye.